Season 16 is now halfway over. Snatch Game has come and gone, and 6 queens have now been eliminated. With all of that in mind, today, I will be predicting who will win the season and the other likely queens who could snatch the crown. The 5th likeliest queen to win Season 16 is Q. In the episode 1 premiere, Q had an incredibly strong start. Her weird puppet show ballet was an incredibly unique twist on the talent show, and it was executed very well. Her top 2 placement was very well deserved, and the edit this episode was really building up Q. This continued into episode 2, which was the ball. Q and Dawn are hyped up as the 2 strongest seamstresses of the season. They both do a very good job, and with Q slightly edging out Dawn with 2 better earlier looks and equally good final looks. Ultimately though, Q would come in 2nd place yet again, with Nymphia Wind coming out of nowhere to snatch the win. This should not be a surprise though, as Nymphia has actually sewn every single garment on the entire season. Q's storyline continues to build up in episode 3 where she places 2nd yet again, very narrowly losing out on the improv win to Plasma. Following that episode, we kind of see a decline for Q. She absolutely bombs the girl groups challenge, but that is not insurmountable. She does stay after the lip sync. She did not win it, but she did stay. And then she went on to absolutely slay the Dollhouse Design Challenge, getting her first challenge win. Then things kinda take a turn. In the Rusical, Q gets an incredibly favorable part. It is called out by Megami, and it is called out by many fans. I've seen a lot of people argue that someone like Plane deserves to be in the top over Q, and while I don't agree, I have seen that argument a lot. Q kind of flatlined during Snatch Game. It was not bad, it was just not good. This wouldn't be too terrible, but unfortunately, in the last week or so, Q has been getting very angry on social media and is not been concealing that at all. Q has definitely harmed her standing in the fan base, which really sucks. But what can you do? Taking a look at Q's track record, she has done a great job. She has a win, a top 2 placement, 3 highs, a safe, and a bottom. This puts her dusted or busted score at, I believe, a 4.5 or a 5. Depending on how you count top 2s. This is a very good track record, 7 episodes in, and I am very confident she'll be in the top again for the design challenge. As for winning, unfortunately, I don't think she's gonna take it home. Q has squandered a lot of the goodwill she had with the Drag Race fanbase in the last week, so honestly, the only winning combination she has is if she somehow makes it to the end with Morphine and Maya. I really don't see that happening, so Q is 5th likeliest. The 4th likeliest queen to win this season is Plasma. Unlike Q, who has had a great start and a slight decline, Plasma has had upward momentum for a lot of this season. She did an okay job in the premiere. It was not the most unique thing we've ever seen, but she has a very unique aesthetic and very much deserved her 4th place placement that week. Then we have the improv challenge. Plasma gets to do the Diva Worship Barbra Streisand group. She does incredible. This is absolutely Plasma's episode to win, and she does. Plasma's good fortunes continue in the Girl Groups Challenge, where she places on the higher end of safe, and then the Rusical. This is one of the greatest Rusical performances of all time. Most roles in the Rusicals that are remembered for being great are the roles like Anitra's in Wigloose or Courtney's in Shade. These are roles where the person absolutely slayed, and while Anitra and Courtney did absolutely slay, Plasma was serving it every single second she was on that stage, which was like 80% of the Rusical. She had so much stage time, and she made the best use of all of it. It was a great showing, and she got her 2nd challenge win. Then, in Snatch Game, Plasma does a good job in the impersonation, but then isn't really that funny. Looking at Plasma's track record, she has 2 wins, a high, 3 safes, and a low in the design challenge. Next week's design challenge is very likely going to be the last unless this season turns out like season 3, so in the event that Plasma is able to skate by that challenge, I would be pretty confident she makes it to the end, likely 4th or 3rd place. This may be controversial, but the third likeliest queen to win the season is Nymphia Wind. Nymphia Wind had an incredible start on this season. Her talent show was one of the most unique things we have seen in years. That is very good to see, and it really stands out considering how generic the talent show has become. Sadly, she did not place in the top 2 due to Plain Jane rigging the Rated Queen vote against her, but she did get her challenge win in the ball. This is one of the greatest looks we have seen in a long time. I've still yet to see someone explain how she got the ties to work the way they did. It was a great performance though, and Nymphia's star is very much on the rise at this point. Due to the terrible nature of the RDR Live challenge, Nymphia places safe because a lot of the roles were just destined to be safe. Fine performance, and she has made it past RDR Live. The later part of this season is where Nymphia Wind really gets to blossom. Get it? It's a flower joke, because she had that flower runway. Her design challenge was very good, and while she did not place in the top due to not being exactly like her doll, it was still a very good performance, and it got her a lot of goodwill from the fanbase. Her musical performance was not the best thing ever. There were a few times where she missed the words, and the edit very much sidelined her. She was on the screen for a very small portion of that episode. It was not a good performance, and they did gloss over that. While that does not inspire confidence in her winning the season, it absolutely inspires confidence in her making it to the end. Her Snatch Game was her worst performance, yet it was not a good showing. She had a very good concept, but the execution was not there. While the impersonation was good, this was Snatch Game, not PBS. In terms of track record, Nymphia had a great start. She has 2 wins, a high, 3 safes, and a low. This is a very good track record. I am sure she will make it to the end. As for winning though, I'm not as sure as I am with the other 2. The second likeliest person to win the season, at least at this point, to probably no one's surprise, is Plain Jane. Plain did a great job in the first stretch of this competition. Burger Finger is good, and while I personally don't love it as a talent show, everyone else in the cast clearly loved it enough for it to be top 2. The main draw for Plain in the first few episodes, though, is her usage of the Rated Queen twist. Plain is the only person in the entire cast that used Rated Queen strategically to bump themselves up. While Plain didn't really need it since the top 2 without the twist were gonna be Plain and Nymphia, it was still a great character moment for Plain. As for her other early performances, she was always on the higher end of safe or high. That is a very good place to be. The later part of the season is where Plain has really been able to shine. Her girl group's verse is the best in her group and one of the most memorable overall. Her design challenge was exceptionally well made. I'm honestly just blown away she had hair that exactly matched that blue fabric. I don't know what the odds are of that because I don't think they supplied this wig. As for her Snatch Game, I think it was a great choice to do a gay icon from another country, and while a lot of people have complained about the impersonation not being exact, she was the funniest, she did a very good job, and I'm really happy to see her get a second win. If you've been watching this channel for the last few months, you've known I've been a Plain fan from the start, and I'm very glad that she's finally at 2 wins. In terms of track record, Plain is absolutely killing it. She has 2 wins, 2 highs, and 3 safes. Honestly though, she could have been in the top every week except the ball, and it probably would have been fair. The likeliest person to win season 16, at least at this point, to probably no one's surprise, is Sapphira Crystal. Sapphira Crystal came into this season swinging. She was out for blood, and she is eating everyone up. This has been one of the most dominant performances we have seen in a long time. Her talent show was absolutely incredible. I love live singing, and if that wasn't enough, it was soprano opera, and if that wasn't enough, she had the additional twist of the different words on the screen. It was an incredibly unique talent show, one of the most unique we've seen in a long time. The win was well deserved. Then, in the ball, she has a great performance. This pumpkin is one of the coolest things anyone has worn all season, and her final look is just legitimately well made. She could have brought this from home, and I would not have had any doubt. Great job. The later half of this season, at least so far, Sapphira has been doing great. I think her flower look is beautiful. I'm very sad she had to take away parts of it to make it fit the main stage. The product we got, though, very well executed. Once again, though, and this is now the second time I've said this, I don't know how she packs this stuff. The pumpkin I now know is inflatable. Thank you all for answering me there. These petals are not inflatable. I don't know how she fit all this in suitcases. She has incredible packing abilities. Her design challenge, while on the lower side of her performances, is still very good, and her snatch game was a great second place. Sapphira is a person who is able to read RuPaul very well. She knows exactly what RuPaul wants and is able to execute that. I think that will take Sapphira very far, both in the season and outside of Drag Race. I would not be surprised if Sapphira is one of RuPaul's all-time favorite winners, because let's be honest, I don't know who else could take the season at this point. In terms of track record, Jesus Christ, absolutely slaying. Just like Plain, Sapphira could have been in the top all but 1 week. She won the talent show. She was high 3 times in the Ball, Snatch Game, and Rusical. She also could have been in the top in RDR Live, and additionally, I could see her in the top for girl groups if it was judged individually. Sapphira has been absolutely slaying, and barring a complete disaster in the later part of this season, if you're putting money down on someone to win, I would put money on Sapphira. Hey, it's Drag Race Rejudged. Do you want gay shit? Well then check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged YouTube channel and hit subscribe.